There we are. We're live. Hey, Levi.
Hello.
I was just telling Levi in the whole 2 seconds we got to hang out backstage how cool you look today.
I
Are you?
appreciate it.
I was freaking out. I was like, oh, he's gonna stand me up. He's a busy guy, and something came up. But no, you're here, and I appreciate it so much.
This is cool. How does this work? Where are people watching us right now?
So we're through StreamYard, and I do that because I want to make keep the recordings because I'm going to do something cool with it at the end of the year.
Oh,
It's broadcasting out live through LinkedIn right now,
sweet.
right? And I'm the worst. But before I get started, I do have a little bit of it, even though it's unfiltered. I have a tiny bit of a format, and I always ask what I can get my guests to drink. So, what can I get you to drink?
Ooh, Liquid Death, lime, the sparkling water lime.
I am so pissed that I did not think of putting water in a can. Like, because
Right?
bottled water has been out forever. Why in the world did I not think of putting it in a can?
I know. Well, and then you also have to basically apply Iron Maiden branding to it, and then you've got the formula.
Levi, are you an Iron Maiden fan?
Oh, I'm an everything all music fan.
Oh my gosh, I love me some Iron Maiden. You
Heck,
know that they fly their own plane? Like he's a pilot and he flies from concert to
really?
concert. Yes, and it's a
No, I
huge,
didn't know that.
yeah, it's like a commercial liner plane that he flies.
I would love to be just on like a Boeing, whatever those are, like on a big airline, and have him come over the intercom and just be like,
Start
"Run for the hills."
Run for the hills. My husband took me to an Iron Maiden concert and he asked me, what was your favorite part? And I was like, oh, it's when they sang Run to the Hills. He's
Yeah.
like, Emily, they didn't sing Run to the Hills. I was like, oh, maybe in my head, I thought they did. But, anyways, yeah, no, it's cool. Welcome to Sweet Tea. I totally expect to spill the tea with you. Usually these are like a format of like, where are you? What are you doing? And where are you going? But seriously, tell me what's going on in the world of Levi. I
Oh,
love watching
let's
you. You're like,
let's spill it.
let's spill it. So tell me what you've been into lately.
Oh man, what I've been into lately?
Yeah, I know you've been traveling. I mean, I think you were in Texas and LA. Like, what's going on in the world of Levi?
Yes, I was in LA last week, and we did a dinner with the Share House folks. Around the Grow LA event, which is just like a bunch of ecom people getting together, and it was rad. There's some huge brands. Got to meet the founder of APL, the shoe brand, Oren John, who does like if you don't follow Oren John on Instagram, you should.
Okay.
Taylor Offer, I got to hang out with, and I've just been a longtime fanboy of Taylor Offer. If you've been on LinkedIn, I'm sure you've seen Taylor. So it was cool. I got to meet some people I really look up to and eat some teppanyaki with them.
Well, that's saying something. You're in like the middle of e-commerce world, right? I mean, that's always been
Yeah,
kind of your bread and butter, right?
yeah. I always love physical goods better. It's funny. Even when I was at Neighbor, I talked I talked Joseph, the CEO, into getting a Cricut, and then I like ordered some blank shirts and sweaters, and I would like print designs on them. And so like even I don't know. I was even just trying to like make Neighbor into a product company as much as I could because I missed it. Like when I was at Kizik and I could send an influencer a pair of shoes or even just like hand them out at Silicon Slopes, like the feeling of handing somebody a pair of shoes was so amazing. Um, and so that's what I missed in product is like just the physical manifestation of what you're up to.
But I try to do that with Higher Integrated, even though we're a service brand,
Yeah.
because of because we're a service company, but because of my brand is tied to my southern roots combined with kind of like these brightest recruiting agency in Utah. we can kind of brand things in a way where it's more symbolic, right? And I think,
Yeah.
but it's always consumer product that gives me that inspiration of how I can do that.
Yeah, for sure. I'd recommend any brand doing anything should build physical experiences to go with their digital experiences to create brand affinity. Like whether that be an influencer seating kit or I don't know if you've even seen, it's really cool. Cash App did like an entire clothing line, which was actually really well done. Like it's I wanted to buy it. Um, and so I don't know. That's actually I think kind of what's cool right now is creating digital with physical, and that's like, do you know Mischief? They
Oh,
did a
yes.
WD-40 cologne. They did the red boots, the crazy like Astro red boots everyone was wearing, and it was taking some of it's taking digital world and mixing it in with the physical, but it's using product as a way to get attention, and that's what I'm really geeking out over lately.
Well, and it's also why you're such an influencer. Like, I saw you're going to be talking soon about like building your own, you know, increasing your personal revenue through your kind of your brand. And Levi, like that's you to a T. And I know you don't take compliments really well, but like a lot of people know you and follow you. And like you're just this marketing genius, good guy with amazing ideas. And you're always willing to have a fun time and try new things, even at the sake of failure. So, like, what have been some of your big failures? Like,
uh,
I really want to
there's a
know because
lot. There's a lot. I mean, Vid Army was like I could take up the entire time talking about that and how big of a
well,
failure that was.
are
But
you no.
super glad I was a part of it and that I got to learn from it. But a lot of failures there. Also, I think if you're ever in the content game, then you're in the failure game. Like just like knocking doors in sales is a numbers game, so is
Yep.
content. And so you can't make a good piece of content without making 100 bad pieces of content. And so I've made a lot of bad ones. I remember going from VidArmy to Kizik and like sending the ad buyer videos that I had made or like ideas and getting and he'd just be like, "This is cool. I'm not gonna." He's like, "Don't post this," or like ad buyer. But I'm so grateful he did that because then it made me figure out like, well, why don't you want me to post it? And it would be like, well, this isn't direct response, and I want to put money behind it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so there's a difference between direct response and brand or like entertaining people or like really just selling the product. And so, wow, I really got off on a tangent there, but
No, I think it's your journey is so fascinating to me. Because I think a lot of times people look at you and they just see like, you get a lot of attention, you represent incredible brands, like you're doing amazing things. And so it's always good to have a balance of like, how did you learn? What was your journey? And I'm not a marketing person, but I tell everybody this. I want to come back in my next lifetime as a marketing person. And so I'm just fascinated by everything that you're doing. And there have been so many, like, huge wins that you've achieved, not only for the companies that you've worked with, but even your own personal brand. So give me a sneak peek of this kind of presentation you're going to be doing at Keelan in Park City. Give me a sneak
oh
preview.
geez. Well, I'll probably prepare it an hour before. So in true ADHD fashion.
I
No,
have a presentation on Friday.
I
And
mean,
I'm really sorry. I promise I'll get the presentation done before Friday, even though it's Wednesday, right?
I don't know. I'm a big proponer.
I like that word. I make up words all the time.
There's
You're
a
good.
new word. Sounds a little dirty. I'm a big proponer. Uh, I'm a big. What would you say? Wow.
Don't say it again.
Feel free to use that, guys.
Oh, I'm hashtagging
Uh,
it. It's
I'm
it's a
I'm a big
campaign.
I'm a big believer. Let's do that one. I'm a big believer in personal brand. I think what's been really cool is going into my role at Shift. is I've been able to provide a lot of value from the get go through personal brand because, and I think this is true for whether you're a D2C company trying to build a brand and make sales as a result, or if you're trying to build a personal brand and trying to make sales for your own business or for the business you work for. Building a good personal brand, um, like you don't have to work for it as hard. Like obviously, there's a lot of front end work. Building a brand is the long term play. Making sales is always the short term play. The way I tell people when they start trying to make sales is you can go out there and ask everyone if they want to get married to you, but you haven't taken them on a date yet. And
Mm.
so building brand is dating people. It's dating your audience. It's getting to know them, and it's not asking them to come home with you on the first date, so to speak. And so that's what I've tried to do in my personal brand, not on purpose, but I've just seen it come to fruition, which is sales is a byproduct of just building a good personal brand.
What are you hoping to achieve with your personal brand? I mean, I know what you have, but tell me kind of what's the goal on kind of certain personal brand enhancements.
I'm an attention whore. So I just want look at me. I just want people to look at me and gawk at
Levi, you are so nice and humble. I'm not even falling for that. Like,
me.
I'm not even for it.
I just want people to see my body for what it is. And
You're such a
I want
brat.
people I want people to realize the work I've put into my body, and I want people to appreciate it. I want
I'm
people
gonna,
to see it.
I'm gonna, I'm not even falling for it.
That's it. That's the only goal is I don't want to hide this body under a bushel any longer. I need people to see my muscles and
You definitely don't mind putting on a robe and showing off. I have noticed that quite a few times. I'm surprised
uh,
you robe today, to be honest with you.
oh, missed opportunity.
Did you give away the robe? I know you gave away the money, but whatever happened with that? Did you give the robe and the suitcase and all of it away? What happened with that?
Will the robe will be held there? We're doing a private auction. It'll probably go for 1 million or something, and we'll donate it to charity.
Sure, sure, definitely.
There's still beads of my sweat on it, so like that will make it go for a lot more.
Yeah.
What was the question?
I, I have no idea.
The
I have no
derailer of derailers.
If I ever were to talk to good old Scott Paul, I'm having like this is what I think it could start turning into type of
A
visions. Right?
hundred, 100%. Yes.
100%. Have you been hanging out with him too much? Is that what's going on?
I saw him a couple weeks ago, and we got to hang. Freaking love that dude. I
I know.
love Scott. I, I admit LinkedIn needs Scott Paul back.
Is he still banned?
He's still banned.
That's so messed up.
But I couldn't do what Scott Paul does, which is just like he does not care what you think. He's going to be
No.
Scott Paul, and you either like it or you don't, and he does not care.
You know,
I
my
I care way too much about what people think.
same, same. You know, I of course follow Scott on Instagram. I don't know him. I feel like I do because I follow him and he's just so fascinating. But my favorite thing about him is that little girl of his, the way that she dresses and just how fun she is and how she'll put things together. I'm like, screw Scott. I've got to meet his youngest. She looks awesome. Like I want to hang out with her. That's how I
Scott probably like got the inspo from her to become Scott Paul.
sure, sure. I think kids have a way of doing that, don't they?
Yeah.
Um, my kids influence me more than anybody in my entire life. Like I can't be embarrassed in public if that kid wants to throw a fit in the middle of church or whatever he wants to do. Like I have to own it, and he's his own little self, and he's impacted me more than any human in my entire life.
Yeah. Well, don't get me started on kids because
Well,
gosh, my two little girls
I
are
know.
amazing. I freaking love them. My 2 year old though, um, she won't go to bed until like 11, and then like once wants me or my wife to hold her all day. She is so clingy, which it's really adorable, but also really hard on our backs and uh, our social life.
Well, do you drink a lot of caffeine? That's how I compensate for what
I
goes on
don't.
in my
I
house.
don't drink any caffeine.
You got to start, Levi. If you're going to do the stay up to 11 and hold a kid all night and not get any sleep, like it is survival mode. Like you
I
need.
used to drink too much caffeine, and it was like I'd get these debilitating migraines, and so I went cold turkey one day, and it was hell for like 2 weeks. But then after that, I felt so much better, and my migraines stopped.
Oh man, I've got matcha green tea. I've got my V8 energy. I'm on my third caffeine thing, and it's not even 1 o'clock yet. Speaking of,
Heck
how
yeah.
is how is your little girl doing with her implant? I know you went to social media on that, primarily LinkedIn, to kind of really go up against some insurance agencies. Like,
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about that if you feel comfortable.
Yeah. So both of my daughters have hearing loss. My 4-year-old is hard of hearing in both ears, and then my youngest is she's deaf in her left, and then hard of hearing in her right. So we did a cochlear implant just in her left side, and then she wears a hearing aid in her right side. And she's doing awesome. Her speech is a little bit behind, but that's to be expected. But between sign language and verbal speech, she's where a 2-year-old should be. So it's really encouraging. And she'll wake up and point to her ear and say like, "Okay, I'm ready for you to put my devices on." And we go to a lot of ASL events, and we're trying to pick up ASL, and we have a tutor coming um, once a week, and so it's been cool to dive into that community and see my kids be a part of the community.
What's your favorite sign you've picked up so far?
This is poop,
Oh, poop. Really? That's
diarrhea,
like
and that's poop.
oh, diarrhea, explosive diarrhea. Okay.
This is BS. Let's see.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I like that. Well, did the insurance company end up pulling through for you?
Yeah, it was a miracle. So um, I was at Neighbor at the time. They were going to change insurance, and so we were going to have to fight the battle all over again January 1st of 2023. So in 2022, we'd been fighting all year to get it covered. Um, and it was the surgeon left for his Christmas break on, it was like December 23rd. So now it's December 21st. Surgeon leaves December 23rd for Christmas vacation. And finally, on the 21st, after fighting and fighting and fighting, my my wife finally gets a call and says at the 21st at 4 p.m., "Hey, she's cleared for surgery, we'll cover it." And my wife calls the hospital, and miraculously, um, the 10-hour surgery gets all put together for the next day. So we found out at 4 p.m. Next day on the 22nd, we get the surgery done, and then doctor leaves for his vacation on like the 23rd. So it was like by the skin of our teeth, we made it in, and it was, yeah, like I said, it was a 10 hours long surgery, and it was wild, but it's awesome. Now I have
Miracle.
a MagSafe daughter. I say because I can. She's got a magnet in her head. I can attach a device to. Cool.
Don't be doing that to her, Levi. No, I mean, I was totally rooting for that miracle. I mean, I was I was like, am I going to start some type of fundraiser? Because I was all for it. So, like,
Yeah.
I think you
I
had to
appreciate that.
root.
The community jumped in. It was awesome. I don't think you get a miracle without that. Sorry to get religious, but not sorry. I don't think you get a miracle like that without prayer. Um, and so just I think my post about like, hey, could you guys just pray for us? We genuinely weren't asking for any money because we were really just hoping the insurance would freaking cover it. But yeah, I think it got 200,000 views, that post, and I'm sure if even just 1% of that prayed for us, like that's so many people jumping in and just saying a little prayer for our family, and it's crazy to see, like just 2 weeks later, a miracle happening.
Oh, I love that. I had when my son went in for his surgery, same thing, like our entire community, like, you know, Utah community, they choose not to eat for a certain amount of hours, right? It's called fasting. So they fasted and prayed and like, yeah, those things help. I always ask myself, what harm is this going to do? And the answer is absolutely nothing. Matter of fact, quite the opposite. If nothing else, you feel comforted. And that's the thing that I will say, even though you're really funny and humorous and at times odd, you are um, like you care a lot about like mental health and community and supporting others and lifting them in their time of need. You've been really open and vulnerable about that. We Are Mind, is that still around? What's going on with that organization right now?
Yeah, we just raised a little bit of money through a silent auction about a month ago with at the Commerce Catalyst event, and originally we were going to put it. So typically we put our money towards providing free therapy to people, but then I had been chatting with a buddy of mine that I care a lot about, and his family is really struggling with mental health right now, and so we decided let's. I was like, look, this would we can either spread this out with some therapy with a few people and a scholarship, or we can like really impact this person's life who really needs it. And so um, we'll be facilitating that any day now.
You're a good guy to know. That's an incredible gift.
Yeah, it's not much. I wish we could do more, but yeah.
Well, maybe link it or let's talk about it. Maybe we can do more, right? You're not a guy that ever takes no for an answer, are you, Levi?
Mm-mm.
Well, hey, I know we're coming up at the 22-minute mark. People always know I say 20 minutes and trick them into 25 minutes. I want to kind of find out where you're going, what's next for you. Like, what does the future hold? Where are you working towards? Then we're going to go into a lightning round and finish this off on a high note.
Yeah, I Shift is the brand behind brands. It's kind of been the dark horse in Utah. I mean, we're a $37 million company that nobody had really heard about until this year, and so really excited to be a part of the team. And you should be seeing some wild stuff come from Shift over the next year: content, products, and everything in between.
So, in really simple terms, what does it do? What does Shift do? Explain that to
So
me.
Shift, we do product development, design, and manufacturing. So we have offices in China, Mexico, and Vietnam, and we can design products from the ground up. We can take an existing product and improve your supply chain, find like get your cost of goods down, and increase your product quality, and then help you scale and grow your product company.
So if I have an idea, I don't even know where to start. I come to you guys and you develop it and distribute, like manufacture it and distribute it. So basically, anyone with an idea can partner up with you, and you guys do everything else. Is that true?
Yeah, or like Pura is a good example where they were on
Mhm.
a crazy growth trajectory and they plugged into Shift, and then we were able to help them scale their products, because one thing people do is they break their supply chain when they grow fast as a product
Mhm.
company, and Shift makes it so you don't do that. So you don't have inventory issues, you don't have cost of good issues, and you have a scalable cost of goods. You have beautiful packaging, beautiful product. Um, yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love Pura. They're in anthropology. Do you know that, Pura?
yeah. Yeah, Pura is exploding. They're awesome.
I know. I was there a couple of months ago and I was like, Utah company and anthropology, such a good win. Okay, let's go into lightning round, okay? And I'm gonna get you hooked on energy drinks. Like it's my mission now. So I'm coming for you, Levi, okay?
Good luck.
You need it in your life. I'm gonna make you get on it. All right. You already mentioned a couple of people to follow, but who should we be following on LinkedIn these days? What's happening? Who are the people?
Ooh, my new crush is Nate Randall from Gab.
Yeah, he's
All he's doing for single moms is really rad, and just a really good dude. I always geek out over when people are wildly successful but also humble and down to earth, and that's Nate Randall. So I'd give him a follow for sure.
I completely agree. Any association with that guy is always a good one. And he'll fundraise, he'll get single women jobs, he'll give away product to single parents, not just moms, but single dads. But he comes from a single home environment and he talks really openly about it. Okay, companies. What are some other companies we should be following that are exploding right now?
Oh, I mean, I'm really into the fashion world right now. Like Tyler, the creator, and his company, like Golf Lafleur and Golf, or Bogey Boys by Macklemore is really cool. Um, but that's probably boring stuff you guys don't want to hear. Here in Utah, obviously, I'm gonna selfishly say Kizik because they're just amazing, and I love that crew to death. And man, that's going to be probably one of the biggest companies out of Utah in the next 5 years. Um,
I've got my
Red
dad
wallets,
shoes. I've got my father-in-law in those shoes. My son. I've got a lot of people I know in those shoes.
heck yeah. Also, Pillow Cube is blowing up.
Really?
Yeah, and Jay Davis and Will Beck, all they're doing with like Pillow Cube and Stair Slide, and Cold Case, they're doing some rad stuff. Like I would not be sleeping on that group of companies.
Okay. All right. Two more questions. What's your favorite kind of AI technology that you're using right now that's been a game changer for you?
To be honest, I don't think AI is quite there yet where I've adopted it into my life yet. Not to say that like if I'm working with an SEO agency and I want them to be more effective, like please use AI. But
Sure.
I'm not so much an individual contributor, as much as a uh, yeah, I don't know how to put it.
That's okay.
Me and AI haven't like hung out too much yet.
We haven't hung out yet. Well, in the recruiting world, it has shaved hours of just increased productivity for my team. Just note taking, recording, summaries, presentations. Like, I'm sure it existed before AI, but it's just made it so much easier for us. Okay, last question. I am going to end. What do you do to kind of decompress as far as your mental health escape? How are you taking care of your mental health these days, Levi?
Oh man, I'm addicted to a game called Royal Match, and I will play Royal Match while I watch Suits on Netflix. Has been my go-to.
Okay, is this? I don't even know what royal match is. I feel so not cool
It's
when I talk to
it's
people.
It's not a cool game. It's like it's the type of game you'd expect like your Aunt Kathy to be playing. Like
Oh, Aunt Kathy.
it's like a Bejeweled type game, you know.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I'm
Aunt
but I'm
Kathy.
addicted to it.
My mom's name's Kathy. That's so hilarious.
So, I actually have an Aunt Kathy. I'm so sorry. I can't say no.
You do have an Aunt Kathy. Levi, thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I love everything that you're doing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay, we'll hang out soon.
yeah.
Thanks,
It's
bud.
been fun.
Yeah, it has been. Talk
Please.
to you
Okay.
later.